What's up, y'all? This is Alex from the Rim Review. The Rim Review is a page that offers in-depth player analysis and gives nuance to the way you watch basketball. In today's episode, we're going to continue our Basketball 101 series and we're going to dive into defense. We're going to cover the basic types of pick and roll coverages as well as off-ball defense. And let's get into it. Our first coverage we're going to talk about today is going to be drop coverage, and we're going to see it right here. As this action is occurring, Klingon is starting off playing really aggressive defense, but now we're going to get into our drop. So as this screen occurs, drop coverage is what Donovan Klingon does. Donovan Klingon is going to move backwards on this screen, and he has two main responsibilities. The first of which is making sure that this screener does not roll past him. The reasoning behind it is, if the screener gets past him and he commits too much to the ball right here, the defense isn't always going to be in the best position to help because they're expecting a drop, and a lob dunk could occur as the guard just needs to throw the ball near the rim. Secondly, Klingon still needs to watch the guard as Klingon moves backwards to make sure that the guard doesn't drive all the way for an easy layup. So those are the two responsibilities of a drop, and let's see how Klingon does here. So as you can see, his first step is not moving up, it's more level here, but a drop can be backwards. This isn't necessarily a deep drop. Sometimes you have a deep drop and a normal drop, but they're still considered drops. And as you see here, he's moving backwards. What I like about this is how he has one hand towards the guard and one hand towards his man. But what I don't like is the fact that this center has rolled now past him, causing the defense to have help come over here, which is then going to really force the defense to collapse. And if Baylor Shireman were to jump stop here, I think he would recognize that something would be open, which he does, although he's looking in this direction because he sees these two guys in the corner, and he misses this right here, which is the benefit of Klingon's height. That being said, it's still not great drop coverage, and they get fortunate that nothing happens, and they're going to get back to even, and it's like nothing happened. On this next possession, we're going to look at Zach Edey playing drop coverage. Right here, Edey's man is running up to set the screen, and as you can see, Zach Edey is playing below. He's not at the level of the screen right here. And as he's playing below, he's got two responsibilities. Make sure that he's higher than him and stay in front of the guard. Edey stays in front of the guard and then does a nice job getting a block. Really good stuff. Right here, with Luke Cornett being involved in the play, we're going to see more drop coverage. As this screen occurs, Cornett is in drop, and he has to make sure that Jalen Smith does not roll too far past him while also staying in front of the guard. He stays even with Smith, and then now the guard has to make a decision. They've already picked the ball up. Cornett says, "Go give me that." Now sometimes a screen is set really well and the drop has to turn into a switch. That concept is known as a Veer, and we're going to look at it right here. So as this screen occurs, initially the Salt Lake City Stars are going to act like they're screening in this direction, but then set a screen here. This leads to really good contact and takes this man out of the play. So there's no way that he's going to be able to get back in time to prevent the guard. This requires Izan Almanza of G League Ignite to basically call for a Veer, which is a late switch, where now you're going to stay attached to the screener here, and Almanza picks up the ball, which is exactly what happens. And now we'll watch the rest of the Veer, as now it's just a one-on-one. They try to attack Almanza, but he does a nice job. On this possession, it's going to be another drop. However, the screen is refused. This requires Al Horford to pick up the ball, as Marcus Smart will go to Zach Collins. It's another Veer that leads to a block. Now let's look at an example of a bad drop coverage. And once again, especially with a screen occurring this low, Nick Richards needs to make sure that DeAndre Ayton does not get below him. As we can see, that's not the case, and even though it's just half a step, it's an easy lob and a nice finish. Now let's talk about our next concept, which is very simple, but it's just switching. So right here, Florida State is one of the teams who is notorious for switching all the time, and we're going to see this on this possession. As this screen occurs, they're just going to switch, and now Baba Miller picks up the ball. This is a very simple concept. All of you probably know it, but for those of you who don't, that's all that switching is. Let's look at it one more time in the NBL, where Bobby Klintman switches, picks up the ball, and plays nice defense. Now we're going to get into our first type of hedge, which is a soft hedge. And we're going to see this right here. On this possession, Oso Ighodaro is going to be playing at the level. And as you see, he's right here near the man. Where in a drop coverage, Oso Ighodaro would be a couple steps back, focused on this roll man. In this soft hedge, Ighodaro is trying to play high with aggressive hands, give Cam Jones time to come back. The defense needs to tag or hit this man right here, and the defense is more prepared for this help. Ighodaro does a quick show, sprints back, and recovers. This is what a soft hedge is. It's a nice concept. We're going to see it again here with Adem Bona. Bona starts off, and once again, he's at the level, although this time he's going to not stay as long because the screen is slipped. He gets back, and now we're even. This screen is going to occur again, and it's once again a quick swipe at the ball. So you're pretty much, if you draw a line here, you're even, maybe a half a step below the screen, swipe at the ball. What's important is he forces this retreat dribble. Now, the defense probably should have number 2 here in order to catch the roll man. That would be known as the MIG, a concept we'll get into later. But Adem Bona is just that guy and gets back and makes a great play. Shout out the Sixers who got an absolute steal in Bona. Once again, swipe, get back, and then get a nice block. We're going to look at another soft hedge right here involving Kel'el Ware. So as this screen occurs, he's going to be here, and this is almost more of our next concept. This is a hard hedge because as you see, he's coming up more at this angle rather than this angle, but he comes back, he's aggressive, and gets a good contest. Now on this possession, this is a full-on hard hedge. Now it's not a complete double, although sometimes these can turn into doubles. But as we see, Ryan Dunn is being aggressive, playing out high, and then he comes and gets back to his man. So a hard hedge is, just think about it. As the screen occurs here, if you stay here, this is a drop. If you're here, this is a soft hedge. And if you're here, this is a hard hedge. You could also just straight up double like that. And you can switch. But hard hedge, get back, and now we're back to even, and try to post up Ryan Dunn. He's an amazing defender, and it leads to tough shots. Now, our last pick and roll coverage concept we're going to talk about is icing. And pretty much an ice occurs when you try to twist and make sure that they don't use the screen. Now here the screen is a step up, so the ice is unsuccessful. But if the screen was coming from over here, you can think about PJ Washington playing like this, Mark Williams coming up here, and Gordon Hayward is in a help position to catch the roll man. And we'll show you another example of icing later. But pretty much think about it, and as we'll see right here, this is an ice. Dennis Smith is playing at this slant, forcing them not to use the screen. Nick Richards could be higher, but he's basically ready to catch. And then JT Thor right here is going to be in charge of ensuring that no easy pocket passes are hit to Rudy Gobert, and we see this right here. So forcing him to reject, you're forcing him into Nick Richards. Thor is catching Gobert, while also being ready to jump out and close out if the skip pass has occurred. And it's solid defense, but Anthony Edwards is just that guy. On this possession, our next concept we're talking about is going to be known as doubling the post. Pretty much, doubling the post is exactly what it sounds like, but it's when you send someone to double. Now, some teams will double from up top, while right here, Virginia is going to double from here, but you never want to double from the bottom, because oftentimes if you're doubling from the bottom, you end up standing pretty much where the original defender was, so you're not making an impact on doubling, and a corner cut leads to an easy dunk. So we're going to double here, force the pass out, and this is a 2-for-1 concept. So the second concept is known as an X out. So an X out is basically when you switch, where Reese Beekman will pick up the ball here, and Kihei Clark comes out, he X's out to his man. So it's when you switch basically through closing out this way. It's really a high level defensive play, and it's great movement, and it leads to a turnover. Right here, we're gonna look at Virginia doubling the post again. This time they do double from below, but it works because Reese Beekman is in good help position, and they're having high active hands. This man is a step higher. And it's another X out where Kihei Clark picks up the ball, and Reese Beekman comes out here. So it's another great concept that works, and it's a steal. So now we're going to talk about gaps and helping off the ball. So the first thing is a corner gap. So right here, Pascal Siakam is in a position where he does a quick show. So he's not fully committing to come get the ball, but he's also not staying attached to Mike Scott. So he's here in a good position where he makes the guard Tobias Harris think, he commits, comes back, and gets a nice contest. Right here, we're gonna see another one, but this time with a kind of stunt from Tyler Hero, and it forces Chris Middleton to pick up the ball, but he's picking the ball up because he's thinking, oh, Kyle Korver's open. But Tyler Hero comes right back to his man, and now we have a travel. On this possession, it's another stunt from the corner, and we're gonna see this occur with the inside hand. And then Kelly Oubre is going to stunt once again, being in a good gap position, and then you're swiping off the ball. And now it's a turnover. On this play, we're going to be in the gaps off the screen. So Chris Middleton, as the ball occurs, you can draw a line pretty much from the ball to the man. You want to be in the middle, which Chris Middleton is. You also want to be below the line. The reasoning is if you're on top of the line, you can get beat backdoor. You're also in less of a position to stop the man on a drive. And if you're below the line, you can see everything. So that's exactly where Middleton is. And if you look at this, Middleton's man is this guy right here. But Middleton is closer to Beal, but he forces Beal to pick it up. And then Middleton runs to a great position, and it leads to where the screen basically never occurred. On this possession, it's another example of help side defense. Right here, Drew Holiday is going to be providing the help, and he's helping a little bit more aggressively as Rajon Rondo is not a great shooter. Holiday stays in front of Kuzma, Rondo tries to cut, and it's a poor pass, but Holiday would have been there anyway, and it forces a tough shot. Right here, it's more help from Holiday, and he's once again coming in the gaps, active hands, and now we have a steal. What's also important in these screens is to make sure that you hit your man or that you tag them to slow them down. So we're going to see this here from Kevin McCullough, who as this aggressive double is occurring, he's making sure he quickly is at the line, maybe touches Kelly Oubre, slows him down to give this man time to come from here to here, which he does, as he's now in this positioning. And now he gets back, and that's a really tough shot. Right here, we're going to look at another concept, which is just more help defense. A lot of teams call this trapping the box, and we're going to see this occur right here. What this means, and as we'll see this from Colin Maury Boyles, he's going to step up here, and now we create a box with 1, 2, and now we're like this. So we're doubling right here to protect the rim. It's a good concept and something that centers definitely will benefit from working on. Now let's briefly talk about the MIG, which is the most important guy on defensive possessions when you have a hedge. Pretty much the MIG is the low man whose job is to ensure that he catches this man and that there's no easy dunks that occur because we're having an aggressive hedge. And then once the screen is kind of thrown in this direction, the MIG needs to trust Hunter Dickinson right here, and Kevin McCullough should go back immediately. While he's late going back here, he does a really nice job in the MIG position. Still a tough shot. Right here, we're going to see a really high level MIG from Devin Carter. On this possession, as this screen occurs, Devin Carter is now the lowest guy. And he's going to come over, be ready to catch number 10, while also coming back. And it's good defense, and he gets a block. Overall, all of these concepts are very crucial and a really great way to elevate your understanding of basketball. While these are pretty much the defensive basics, understanding concepts such as different types of pick and roll coverages, as well as being in the gaps defensively, are crucial to developing your understanding of the game. If you like this video, let me know in the comments and let me know what type of content you would like to see next. Once again, thanks for watching the Rim Review.